amazing hiring and see what's similar, what's different. So if all of you could just share, what's been good and what's been bad. Santosh, we haven't connected too much, but he just mentioned that the team in Europe said that Seek Out was a bit slow. So we're wondering, if that could be just an issue with Europe, as we don't have the majority of our customers are not in Europe. So just want to make sure that on our end, there's no bug or anything, and make sure that we fix that.
Yeah, so here, unfortunately, I think our experience is the same one, is that it was like maybe even slower than in Europe, because if our colleagues mentioned that it might be a bit slow, we had quite a lot of troubles working with it due to the speed. So it could run the search for like up to 1 minute and then refresh the page and all the filters were gone, so we needed to start over. So the speed was quite an issue actually for us as well.
Okay.
Yeah, once the search was run, my search was running for an hour, I think, and then I just gave up on it, because I thought that nothing will happen. But sometimes it was pretty quick, but most of the times, yeah, it took some time to download.
Natalia, Olga, this is Anuper. I just joined too. And so can you share your screen and show us what is happening, if possible? I'll just like to make sure that as I go and we debug it, I have a sense of what kinds of searches and things like that. So could you take control of the screen? And
you could just ask me for control, or what I can do is make one of you the host.
Yeah, or you can just stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
And then we will be able, girls, or Adina, maybe one of you could share the screen to show how it works on your side.
Sure. I'm logging into it now. Okay. So Jessica, can you please stop sharing?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
It should be on top, I think. Once you go to the top of the page, there's a little menu appearing.
Or stop sharing. I think sometimes just on the bottom left, there's a red button, reddish thing that shows up.
I got that. So I stopped the share.
Okay, thank you. I suppose you can see my screen right now?
I can see your screen.
Yep.
Okay, just to mention, this is not always happening. So there are, let's say, periods of the day where it's going really, really slowly, but other times it's going at normal speed and pretty fast. We had some situations where we just put Java as a keyword. So, for example, it's happening now, and it would just by this keyword as a filter, just try to update the search and present the candidates. But this would be going on for quite some time.
Yeah, no, let's just wait for it. So that is very interesting. What kind of bandwidth do you connect with?
To be honest, I don't know this information.
I see.
Usually it's pretty fast working, and actually this slow thing happens also in another filters when, for example, you try to enter a country, you see some list and you want to enter some other country, so you just start typing the name of the country, and it gave up completely even when you're typing the country, so it gives you nothing. You just start, I don't know, few first letters from Poland, just POL, and then it starts loading and nothing happens. So
thank you so much, because it's really good for us to see this so that we can debug it. In the US means I have not encountered this before, so it is really good to know you're being helpful to us by showing us this.
Good to know.
And by the way, I am trying the platform now from Bucharest, Romania, if that helps. So we've tried it from several locations, so from Ukraine, Russia, and Romania, just to see how it goes. And it's been giving the same kind of wait time for all of us. And at the same time, perhaps this can also be helpful. I have tried putting in quite an advanced search with parentheses and Boolean operators, and it gave the result in half a second. So it really, really depends on some things which are not very clear.
Yeah, no, I can see it is totally stuck on just a search on Java that is there, which is, I was going to simultaneously try the same search. So this is in fact a search on the public profile side. This is not even on the GitHub side, right?
Exactly. It's for the public profiles part.
Sometimes it took time, a lot of time, even just to log in. So when you're logged in and trying to open this page, it just downloads and downloads and downloads.
So okay. So I tried Java on my side. It finished in 1/10 of a second. 1.6 million candidates show up. So I just tried it right now. So clearly there is something very interesting going on. If I was to share my screen and show it to you a little bit, maybe. So there is there a, does Luxoft have, I'm sure you guys do, given who you are, an IT person we can work with to see the configuration or something like that? I'm trying to think how we debug it. So certainly we'll take it inside. No, so this is clearly bad. This is what you are seeing is unacceptable. Adina, can you stop sharing for a second?
Of course.
Thank you. So if I was to share
Filter.
my screen for just 1 second, and let me clear. And I just wanted to show you, if I was to on the public profile side put in Java, it shows up there. Or if I was to put in Python, let's say, so it is instantaneous for the same query. So what it is telling me is it is not what is happening on our servers. It is something that is happening in the connections in between. And so we need to help. We will love some help to debug it. So is there an IT organization that you have?
We have internal IT. I'm just not sure how whether they would be able to help anyhow. Because, for example, like I tried my account not only from the office but also from home.
Yeah.
So in a totally different network, and it worked slowly there as well. So I think it might not be our network issue in the connection.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it, so I clearly see it.
Yeah, no, I just mean that our internal IT. I'm not sure if they will be able to take part in the investigation and see what might be the reason.
May I do this test? So I'm sharing my screen just as if I do an internet speed test. Okay, if I come here and I run the speed test in Google, it'll tell me what kind of bandwidth I'm getting. To download, and then the same on the upload side. But because your screen sharing was working, I mean, my guess is the bandwidth is okay. But if you can still just do a quick test like this, that would be super helpful on the Wi-Fi. Can you try that? I'll stop sharing my screen. Just do an internet speed test.
Adina, will you be able to do the test since we looked at the
Yep,
connection?
just a second, please.
Thank you.
Okay, so internet speed test. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Whichever goes first. No, it's
And also I want to show you one of the situations that I mentioned earlier, that for complex queries it actually works really well. So for example, I tried putting in something, one of our queries that we usually use, and I'm pressing enter. It worked so well just a minute ago. Just okay, let's see. So for this,
Yep.
it returned a results right away. So um, yeah, maybe it also has to do with the number of profiles that it is returning, because it's one thing to return 400,000 candidates and another to return 2 million.
Yeah, no, Adina, when I tried, as I shared it, it was, less than half a second when I did the whole Java query. Okay, no, this is super helpful. It's a mystery, and we will love the opportunity um, to work with you to debug it. So, question for you: who among you, Adina, should we work with you? Natalia, with you, all that. So, who should we work with? I will get my co-founder on the line, and find 7 a.m. some other morning.
Oля, do you think you could take that?
Okay, well,
Yeah, then please contact Olga if possible for this. And yeah, but glad to be helpful. Actually, we also, like, while working and testing the different power filters and everything else, we have a couple of questions we hoped you could clarify for us.
Yes.
So I think the one from the last meeting we had about matching the profile. Then I think you needed an additional consultation on that, like how the profiles from GitHub are matched to LinkedIn. So whether the name is enough, or name and location, or email. So what is the basis for matching? How do we know that this is the exact person, that the matching is correct?
I think we use all of them to make it work. So we have backup strategies. If the name and location are the primary thing that we have. If they mention the LinkedIn their LinkedIn URL, we might directly, say if some of them do that, we use that. So it is primarily those things, because there's not a lot of other information on people don't put their company. So if the people use their company, then that is something we use too. So the name, the company, the location, and the email are the four things. Okay.
Yeah, but you mentioned, like, and we experienced that also, that people might have different locations on GitHub and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So one of the questions would be, which location is shown and used for filters in Seekout in this case, and like, how do we know that this is the same person? Maybe like they're like I know Michael something on GitHub in one location, and another guy with the same name and surname in another location, but they're different guys.
So what I have found is, so let me just share my screen, is that the location we show is often not as good as what we actually find. So, sometimes I'm trying to see, I did a search for somebody, so I'm on the GitHub side. Where should I show? So let me just search for machine learning as an example. And was it Austin? It was, let me go to UK, some other country. So we were showing the location wrong, but when I went to the United Kingdom, let's search in United Kingdom.
Yeah, I think last time we did a test looking for somebody in Ukraine, and there are people with locations in the States, and in their profiles they also had the states mentioned, so we didn't get to see like where the Ukraine came from.
So let's see if we have, so Ukraine and San Francisco.
yeah, I think it's the same example.
Okay, so when we looked at it, sorry, I might have dropped it, but let's do it again. So that's when we look at Dimitri, so he says Ukraine here. Do you see
Mm-hmm.
in his location? And on the LinkedIn, Czech
She's in Czech
Republic.
Republic.
So I think we probably picked up Ukraine from here. So the location is a multi-valued field that is there. So we put multiple location,
Uh-huh.
and
And the one you show, like the San Francisco.
yeah. So this is we are fixing this. So I asked my co-founder to look into. So he's the main one who's building the engine behind it, to see what is the basis. So what I was telling him to do is to show all the locations. Since this is a multi-valued field, we should
Mm-hmm.
show all of the different locations, because if it is ambiguous, we should let you know that there is ambiguity around it.
Yep.
As the area, I'm trying to see if there is some other, these are all directly.
And about this guide that we have reviewed just
Yeah.
now, I saw that his name is Dmitro Mishkin, right? And in the brackets there is David Mishkin. So in the search engine.
I see.
Yep. So why he has two names? Let's see.
Let's go back up. Sorry, no, thank you again. This one, right, David? So this is he must
Yeah.
have pinned it. Let's see, Dimitri, in the LinkedIn, does he say David Mishkin anywhere? No, he doesn't say that. Research intern at Intel Labs. And this one is Dimitri. Is he PhD student in computer vision, Czech Technical University. Can't make out. Well, this is a good example profile. We will look into this and we'll get back to an explicit answer for you on what we are doing inside. What do you say to that? Okay.
Yeah, would be good.
Okay. Yep. And another question that I wanted to ask: so, if the candidate the person specified an email in the profile in LinkedIn, let's say, is there any email in GitHub so you can match him by email, or is just matching by the name and experience and stuff like that?
No, so please, could you repeat the question?
I am matching the profiles by the email, so by the email in GitHub and by the email in LinkedIn, right? Or just by the name and experience, location, and other stuff?
So on the, certainly, out here, we get the email. And as I said, the primary things we use for matching a name, location, company, because those are the more reliable indicators that are there until we have found the LinkedIn. So we can get the email. We don't get emails in advance. We get the emails when you ask for the emails. So for everybody in the LinkedIn database, we don't have emails. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like we need an email. Actually, this is not the information that we are usually looking for. It's mostly for recruiters. I was just asking, are you matching the candidates by emails? Because by the name, it's like there are a lot of people with the same names, let's say, same specialization, and sometimes they even work in the same company. So you are not matching by the emails, right?
We are not matching by the email, because also emails, people have many emails. So, but it could be a hint. And since we don't in advance have the emails, we don't use that as a function. Again, I can get back to you on that.
It's clear now.
Yeah. So how has your experience been? So when it is working well, let's ignoring the situation when it is super slow and bad. Are you finding the right people? Is the search engine good? How does it compare when you try and search an amazing hiring and this one? So tell us more.
Yeah, and that's like also another question that we had. So when we try to use different filters, so for example, there's keywords, power filters, language expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and when looking for the same thing, like for Java and different filters, we have different number of results.
Mm-hmm.
So we're wondering if you could maybe tell us a bit more on what each filter is doing, like what the difference might be between those. Why would they return different results? So maybe like keywords looks in the whole profile and power filters in just special sections or something.
Are these on public profiles or on the GitHub side?
I think on both.
Okay, on the GitHub side, the power filters do complicated stuff. So, for example, this is the power filter for when we do machine learning. Okay. So it doesn't say machine learning, Jeff. It takes an individual. It says naive Bayes, support vector machines, random forest, principal component, singular value decomposition. So it has a lot of things. It also has an OR of all of the frameworks, okay, that are being built, like PyTorch and Azure and Amazon and Google's TensorFlow. So for that's why when you do the search, right? So if I was to clear here and then go and do machine learning, then we get, because we are using all of these terms. And in fact, one of the things that happens when we use the power filter is you see it both makes a bold out of random forest, deep neural network, Spark, HTO, machine learning, logistic regression. It is because we have used the OR term there. And then if on top of that you add TensorFlow, as a search, then it'll bring you people who have listed TensorFlow more specifically. So that might, especially with the interaction between power filters and your keyword search terms, that is what is happening. In general, when you put a keyword search term, it looks for the keyword everywhere, anywhere in the profile, okay? Unless, like in the public thing, if you say current title, okay, is data scientist, okay, then it is only looking in the title portion of the profile. Okay, if you don't do this and you just put data scientist, then it looks for data scientist anywhere in the profile.
And do you have the like the queries for the power filters somewhere in the open source so that the recruiters could review? So I understand that you have like the expertise that you use in the power filters, but maybe if they're looking like if the machine learning for our specific need, it is a bit like not as wide as you use it, like not if some of the keywords that you use are not would not be relevant for our machine learning.
Yeah, so there are two ways to do it, Natalia, depending on how we move forward. So let me go back to GitHub. As I was showing, so when I pick machine learning, I'm clearly picking a pretty broad query as I was showing you in the PowerPoint, right? So I'm using very broad. Let us say you wanted to look at TensorFlow, okay, or you wanted to look at PyTorch. You can constrain the broader search we have done by simply adding another keyword.
Yeah, sure, but just maybe like looking at your query, there are a lot of or, and maybe I like there are just like 2 or 3 words that I wouldn't need in this query. So,
All right.
mm, uh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand now what you're saying.
Yeah, so
So
if I don't know what words you use, it's difficult to know what words I should exclude from it.
yeah,
So it would be much easier if I could like review what you use for machine learning and then decide, okay, this is the expertise I'm looking for. So just the power filter will work good for me, and I don't need to do any additional query, or to say that like for example, like TensorFlow or Amazon machine learning is not something I'm looking for. So here I would need to make a specific query on my own and use the keywords, for example.
Yeah, and Natalia, you make a good point. So, if we decide to move forward together, that is something we can share.
Okay, and then on other filters as well, just a couple of clarifications. So there's a filter on by industry.
Yeah.
And years of experience that we didn't quite catch the source of this. So when we use the filter by industry, what is it looking for?
So
how the industries filter?
Yeah, so each of the company, there is an industry associated with it. And so we use the industry of that. So, if I was to, let's say, come here, and again, I will go back to current title just as an example, data scientist, right? So if I was to do that, then I'm getting a lot of people. So I can come down below and I can choose industry and I can say, find me people in healthcare.
Yeah, but will it be like the latest company, the current company they're working in?
No, it's the current company. It's the current company.
So
and
if, for example,
sorry.
If, for example, somebody works, let's say, in IT outsourcing company on healthcare project, such person won't come up in the industry healthcare, because they are in IT company. Okay.
Yeah.
And what if they have different current companies in GitHub and LinkedIn?
I don't know the answer. I think we will use the current company in probably the LinkedIn. You guys ask hard questions.
We like to go deep, sorry. Yeah, and the years of experience, a similar question.
So for years of experience, what we use is years since they got their undergraduate degree. Okay. So years of experience is years since the undergraduate degree. So, like not the PhD. So this person will still show up, if I was to filter, because the undergraduate degree is 2006. So, he has 12 years of experience. So if I was to, I'm trying to see who do I want to eliminate. 2000 bachelor's, like 2016, Andrew will go away. So as soon as I say, greater than 10 or whatever, he still remains because he got his bachelor's in 2006.
Okay, and if somebody doesn't have the year when they had their bachelor,
I think we just keep them there because we don't know.
So any filtering will show everybody, like no matter what kind of filter I put, there are still guys who just have unclear experience.
Yes.
Okay, and another one was for spoken languages. So there's a filter for public profiles on the languages that we can select. Is there anything similar on GitHub tab? For example, if we look in Java developers who speak Spanish, let's say.
Yeah, no, as you can see, we don't have that filter. So one of the things that we do when we aggregate the profiles, we bring some set of fields together, but we don't bring every field over from the LinkedIn profile for the person. And so that is therefore not known. I mean, it is a possibility of what we can do. So in general, one of the things I will say is that when we do this profile matching, we can't match for everyone. So it is only a fraction of the 13 million people where the profiles are matched. Okay, the LinkedIn. So that's why I think that there was an example. Let me go back to there was somebody actually, hold on. So let me do San Francisco area. And so if you look at Arundel, Liddell, you will notice we only have the GitHub profile and we bring up relevant repositories, etc. But we don't have Erin's LinkedIn profile because for whatever reason we were not able to match it. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah. So that's why, so actually that the name is slightly new. So I'm surprised we didn't match it, but we did.
Okay, yeah, so it would be great. Unfortunately, I would need to run to another meeting now. It would be great to know a bit more information on the matching, if you could get back
Yeah.
to us on what is used.
Yes. Okay. So what we have as follows is we will get back to you on the matching and how we are doing it. And then we will work with Olga on the performance issue that we are facing. And then we'll follow up.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We appreciate it.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.